And continuing with Game Boy Advance, Super Mario Advance. This one shouldn't be too bad, but I think I'm gonna play as Luigi in level 1, right? I might be mistaken, but that should be an easy one. I do think, though, of the Mario Advance games, Mario World, so Advance 2, was definitely the easiest. I forgot to start the timer. That didn't start. Okay, I hit the wrong button. The Mario World was definitely the easiest because that's just the level I'm most familiar with a lot of the levels in the game. And I think if you do that route, the best route you can, I actually think those are the easiest levels. Some of the levels can be pretty tricky in this game, even with the best route. In the Mario 3, you have to do the entirety of World 8. So if there are any hard levels, those are obviously going to be in World 8. I guess I could always try and get a Cloud, but I don't think I necessarily am going to need one. Like, I'm pretty sure I can do all of them. Like, I'm not really expecting too much difficulty. It's just, it might take me a few more tries to do some of the levels in these games than it did in Mario World.
Here we go.
Whoops. Add. Maybe I wanted to be Luigi, I don't know. I'm not going to be too wide a variety of characters. It is going to depend on the level. But we'll see. Trying to remember, I need to actually, I need to use the warp, so I need to remember where they are. I don't think I've skipped any, though. I guess I don't need to use the warps, but it would be better to, because that means it'd be faster. The only one I'm not, of the Mario Advance games, I'm not really sure about would be Yoshi's Island. Because I'm not super familiar with that game. Not nearly as much as I am these others. Plus, I don't think there are warps in that game, so you would have to do every level. Whoops, I do actually need the jar here. Let's see, what's... I think it's for 2 I actually want to play as Peach. And I like to play as Toad in every other level, for the most part. I mean, there were some ways I could get a little higher to get a little more... to get to some places a little early with Luigi in those first 2 levels. I don't think I need that. But Toad's faster for the most part, so I would rather play as him. Before 2, I will be playing as Peach because because the glide is super useful for that level. And then I'll probably beat Toad in every other level if I find I'm having difficulty with some sort of platforming section. And I might change back to Luigi. Let me guess, a shell, yep. Where do you go, actually? Okay, there's more level over here. It was probably more obvious in the NES game, or the All-Stars version. Because there wouldn't have been the screen crunch, so you probably could more easily tell the level just continued there. I forgot how short these levels are. I mean, it makes sense. This is an NES game. And that's honestly why I think I prefer Mario World over Mario 3. Because while there is a lot of cool things in Mario 3, Mario World just has more expansive levels. Like Mario 3, any good level, it just doesn't last that long because NES was just way less powerful hardware. I do wonder if that's why they put a boss at the end of most levels in this game. It was supposed to be a way to kind of pad out the levels, make them seem a bit bigger than they are. I don't think game overs are going to be too punishing in this game. I don't think this is like a restart the entire world type of game, or restart the whole game. I think the original might be, but not this version. It might just be you lose your checkpoint, which is kind of really only relevant in World 7, just because the levels are longer there. But I don't think it'll be too big of an issue. I think that may have been the World 4 warp. Kind of where that, pipe was down there. But I don't want to take the World 4 warp because then that would take me to World 6. And then I'd have to do the entirety of World 6 and the entirety of World 7. Whereas, if I don't and I just continue with World 4, then I can do World 4 and then I only have to do... And then I go to World 5 and only do a little bit of World 5. And then get the... Take the World 5 warp to World 7. And then I don't have to do World 6, because World 6 is the absolute worst world.
Choose a player.
Going back to Toad now. Yeah, I don't really remember exactly where the warp is in World 4. But I absolutely know where it is in World 5. Oh, this might be a bit of a longer level than I thought. I forgot about these, like, factory levels. Oh, this one's not too bad, right? This is just a go to the top, grab the Phanto key, come back down, I think. No, it isn't even that. Oh, this is follow things down section. I was thinking I kind of wanted to be on the Toady because I didn't want to be on the Shy Guy and then the Toady land on me and take damage. Probably I'm supposed to go in here. Oh no, here's the Phanto key. Okay, if I can stop messing around and just grab the key and go, that'd be nice. Okay, at least I can get health here. Because I think this is Fry Guy. Yep. So the only bosses you actually end up fighting is Fry Guy, a lot of Birdos, and Wart. You don't fight Roberto, you don't fight Claw Glip, you don't fight Triclide, you don't fight Mauser. Really don't want to game over, because that makes me lose my checkpoint. Okay, I did not expect him to jump that far. And that is game over.
Choose a player.
I think it takes your checkpoint, though. Oh my gosh. That's so bad. I mean, at the end of the day, that's not terrible. That's a few minutes lost. But that still just sucks. At least I know that, though. All it does is it takes your checkpoint. So if I get to... If I do end up getting to, like, 4-2... Or 4-2, 7-2... and I only have one life, I'll just take a death. Purposefully game over so that I can have full lives going into 7-2, so I don't risk getting to Wart and then getting a game over. Not that I necessarily think I would get a game over on Wart. It's the rest of 7-2 that's kind of tricky. It's not really Wart himself. I don't think Wart's that hard of a boss fight. I do think I am kind of getting ready to... Here, how about you guys just come off there? So I don't have to deal with it. I'm definitely, though, kind of slowing down a bit on Game Boy Advance games that I can do, that I know for certain I can get through. No, my key! Is that death? No, it's not. Okay. I was very close with Toad not being able to jump that high. Oh my gosh, dude. Dumbest place to die. Is it just every door that's a checkpoint? It looks like it, just anytime you enter a new part of a new area, it's a checkpoint. There's definitely becoming a lot fewer Game Boy Advance games I just know off the top of my head I know I can do. Especially the ones that are going to be under for around that hour mark. Because we have this game, which don't have too much left in this one. There still is Mario 3. There's some of the Crash Bandicoot games. I was going to say just Huge Adventure. Huge Adventure is the one I'm most familiar with. But I do think... I'm stuck. I did not know you could get stuck like this. Is there no way to get out? I've never... Okay, there is a way to get out. I've actually never seen that before, though. Getting stuck like that. Alright, and I have to remember they can jump pretty darn far. I'm most familiar with Crash Huge Adventure on Game Boy Advance. I could do that one pretty easily. But I think other than one of the boss fights being kind of stupid, I think Entranced is also very viable. And then, honestly, that might be it for, at least off the top of my head, the hour GBA games. Maybe there's more I'm forgetting, but then I think after that, it's a lot of them are getting to kind of more than an hour. There are a few that are more than an hour that I know I can do. There is still... I Spy Challenger is a very quick and easy one. Literally just I Spy. That one is over an hour though, because it's pretty long. There's kind of a lot of levels in that one. And then there's also Ninja 5-0. Which Ninja 5-0, if I were... That's a pretty short game, but that is not one that I'd be able to do if I had to go into it blind. Because that is, honestly, a very tricky game. If you're unfamiliar with it. But because I am familiar with it, I've beaten it multiple times, I've even beaten it on hard mode. It shouldn't be that bad. It's kind of the type of game where it is really difficult, but you're kind of just learning each level. And once you know each level, then it's not too bad to get through it. Especially because it really only kind of gets harder a bit later in the game. There's a couple boss fights that are pretty tricky. But other than that, it's not... As far as levels go, it's kind of the later levels that do become really hard. I did not know it was gonna slide off. And I'm gonna try holding more to the left this time, because it seemed like that was safer. And just see if I can hold it all the way. Okay. Didn't work quite how I wanted it to, but...
I'm gonna finish you off.
And I think here I actually want to be Luigi just to make sure I can get up the cliff, because it's actually kind of tricky to get up there as Toad, because his jump is so short.
Here we go.
But at least off the top of my head, that's probably really the extent of Game Boy Advance games I know, for certain at least. Because there are a few other games I could look into to see if they're any quicker. I could look into the other Hot Wheels games.
Choose a player.
Actually, I think I kind of want to be Luigi in 7-1. Maybe I wanted to be Peach. I don't know. Oh no, I do think I want to be Luigi, because I think I can do one of these sections actually a bit easier. Am I even going the right way? Aren't you not supposed to go this way? You're actually just supposed to go over to the left? And there's all sorts of other games to check out on Game Boy Advance. There's more, there's more board game collections, more racing games to check out. Any game like that's probably going to be pretty short. Can you not make it up here? I thought you could, but maybe you have to be Peach or something. I thought that jump was good.
Here we go. Here I go.
Oh, you can make it. Okay. Well, that makes that a lot easier. Alright, so you do have to stack at least a little bit. Is this another green Birdo? Yeah.
I'm ready for you this Now I'm a movie. Bravo.
I mean, I'm not nearly at the point where I'm needing to experiment with games and like kind of see which ones are really quick or whatever.
Here we go.
There still are games to try, games that I know to do. Not too much reason to worry about it right now. But 7-2 can sometimes be a little tricky. Not necessarily the level itself. I mean, there are some tricky parts with some of the Sparky dudes and different fights. There's like 3 different fights you have to do in this level. I think the main part, though, is just like remembering exactly where to go. There's a lot of different paths to this area. Just in case I have to go back down, but I doubt I A, have to go back down, and B, they'll probably respawn anyway. So I probably should have tried to make sure I get past this part. Okay, so that didn't work. Let's see, I can never remember if you actually have to go in here. I don't feel like you do. I feel like that's just bonus. I don't think I need bonus. Did they give you so many hearts? Was this how it was in the original? They just give you a challenging section, then immediately give you health, so it negates the challenge from that section? Yeah, I think there's not much more. I think it's just get this key from Birdo. And then head through the rest of that section. Ah. Well, great, I have to do it all with 1 life and only 1 health at this Birdo fight. I probably should have switched to Toad at this point. Honestly, probably would have been better, because Toad can pick up the eggs faster. Plus, his jump is better. At least for jumping on platforms like that. And then Toad probably just also is... I guess it depends on how many lives I have if I actually want to switch to Toad there. Because Toad has a lot of trouble actually getting up to get extra health where Wart is. So you may have to do Wart kind of with no extra health. If you were to play as Toad, from my memory at least, I don't know, I may have just not really understood how the game worked. Or I might be misremembering. But, I mean, I don't actually know if not having the extra health is really that big of a problem for Wart. Wart's kind of an easy boss, I think. Definitely the platforming, though, in this section would be way more annoying as Toad than Luigi. It doesn't seem like it's that bad. It is just kind of a shame that there's no easy way to get health before this Birdo fight, because how are you supposed to get back? Oh, I guess you could go in the door, and there's probably some health over there that you could get before fighting Birdo. Come on. There we go. Oh, that is one thing I didn't really consider that is definitely really good to think about is a lot of these games, specifically this game and Mario 3, not only do these have the original NES versions, which will be different because I don't know how different or how much more difficult those are. If game over equals restart the entire game, that's definitely going to change how viable each game is. But they also have the All-Stars version. So that would be interesting to look into. See how many times can I play the same game and say it's a different game? That'd be nice. I actually do think this is being a little trickier than I thought. I mean, part of it was just, I think it's a bit harder as Luigi. Just because his jumps are weird and his momentum slippery. It was a little harder to dodge attacks, but I don't know, with how, like, motion blur it looks playing on Game Boy Player, making it a little trickier to dodge his attacks, but I'm in the groove now, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. If I could just throw my shots right. Come on. Do that one too early. Keep hitting the stupid bubbles. Maybe I just need to get up close to him. Throwing it too high, too low, too early, too fast, too slow. Everywhere except just right. Pretty much. Maybe it would be easier as Toad, because I'm not taking any damage. I've not needed to go back and get extra health until this point. Mario can't even make it up here. Why can't you make it up there? Oh, it's just you have to jump from over there. You can't make it with a high jump. That might be true for Toad as well. I don't know, I think just Toad's jump is just like perfect height for this. I don't know, I just feel like I always have an easier time doing this fight as Toad than any other character. Come on, if I don't know if I'm just pressing it too late or if it's eating my input. There we go. Alright, no reason that fight should have taken that long.
No problem.
That is Super Mario Advance done. 35 minutes is kind of too long, I think. But having to redo 3, having to redo 7-2, and taking just way, way, way too long on Wart is what made it take too long. I do wonder if it's actually faster to go that route, or if it'd be faster to take the warp to World 6. Because if you do this one, you do 1-1, 1-2. Then you do part of 1-3, but you don't do the full 1-3. Then you do 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, 5-1, 5-2. You wouldn't do 5-3 because you just take the warp at the very beginning. 7-1, 7-2, so it's pretty much 9 levels. The other way, you would do 1-1, 1-2, 4-1. Then you only do half of 4-2, so you do 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, 7-1, 7-2. So that'd only be 8 levels. But again, it depends on how long the levels of World 6 are, because I think they're pretty long in World 6. I think this way is probably faster. Although I don't know, 4-3 was also pretty long. So I don't know what way was faster, and it really doesn't matter. The point is that I beat the game. That's 17 games complete in only 5 days. So still have 360 days left, and I'm probably not even done for today. I can probably still try and squeeze in one or 2 or 3 more games. Just have to keep going with what I know to do until I stop knowing what to do and then find other things to do.